Hello, and welcome to the Drowsy Mind. Tonight, we're going to spend some time thinking about something your body does every single night. Something so quiet and so ordinary that you might never really stop to consider it. What happens to your body while you sleep? Not in a clinical way, not in a way that asks you to fix anything or change anything, but just gently to understand what's actually going on while you rest. There's nothing you need to do right now. You don't need to remember any of this. You can listen with your eyes closed, or let your mind wander in and out. If you drift off partway through, that's completely fine. This is just here as something soft to focus on if your thoughts need somewhere gentler to land tonight. Sleep can feel like a mystery sometimes. You lie down, you close your eyes, and then, somewhere in the hours that follow, your mind drifts away. When you wake up, time has passed, but you weren't really aware of it. And while all of that was happening, your body was still there. Still breathing, still working, still looking after you in ways you never consciously asked it to. That's what we're going to explore together. The quiet systems that keep going, the rhythms that slow down or speed up, the small adjustments your body makes without you ever knowing. We'll start with your heart. Right now, as you're listening, your heart is beating at a certain pace, maybe a little faster if you've been thinking about something, or a little slower if you're already starting to relax. But when you fall asleep, something shifts. Your heart rate begins to slow, not dramatically, not suddenly, but gradually, like someone turning down the volume on a song you didn't realize was playing. During the deepest parts of your sleep, your heart might beat 10 to 30 beats slower per minute than it does when you're awake. This isn't a problem. It's not something going wrong. It's your body saying, for now, you don't need to be ready for anything. You can rest. And so your cardiovascular system rests too. The pressure in your blood vessels eases. Your blood pressure drops. Not to a dangerous level, just to a quieter one. This drop happens naturally, almost every night, in most people. It's one of the ways sleep protects your heart over time. Because when your heart gets to slow down, when it gets a break from the constant demands of the day, it has a chance to recover. There's something very gentle about that idea. That while you're asleep, your body isn't just shutting down. It's adjusting. It's finding a quieter rhythm. And it does this every night, whether you think about it or not. Let's stay with the heart for a moment longer. Because the way your heart behaves during sleep isn't the same all night. Sleep isn't one flat experience. It moves through stages, like a tide coming in and out, and your heart responds to those stages. In the early part of the night, as you first drift off, your heart rate starts to drop. Your breathing slows down too. Everything begins to settle. This is light sleep. You're not fully unconscious yet, but you're no longer really awake either. Your heart is still responsive. If there's a noise or a shift in temperature, your heart rate might pick up again briefly. But as you move deeper into sleep, into what's sometimes called slow wave sleep, your heart becomes much steadier. This is the deepest kind of rest your body gets. Your heart rate is at its lowest. Your blood pressure has dropped. Your muscles are relaxed. And your heart, in this quiet phase, is doing something important. It's giving itself time to recover from the work it did all day. Because your heart is always working. Even when you're sitting still, even when you're doing nothing, your heart is pumping blood, delivering oxygen, keeping everything moving. Sleep is the only time it gets to slow down in any meaningful way. And that slowdown matters. Over weeks and months and years, those nightly drops in heart rate and blood pressure add up. They give your cardiovascular system a chance to repair small amounts of wear and tear. It's not dramatic. It's not something you'd ever feel happening. But it's there, quietly protective, night after night. Now, later in the night, something else happens. You move into a different kind of sleep, REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement, and it's the stage where most of your vivid dreaming happens. And during REM sleep, your heart rate doesn't stay slow. It picks back up. Sometimes it even reaches levels close to when you're awake. This can feel surprising. You might think, if sleep is supposed to be restful, why would your heart speed up again? But REM sleep isn't about physical rest. It's about something else. Your brain is very active during REM sleep. It's processing, organizing, making sense of the day. And your heart, in response to all that brain activity, speeds up a little. It's still sleep, you're still resting, but your body is doing different work now. And that's okay. Sleep doesn't have to look the same all night for it to be restorative. Your breathing changes during sleep too. Right now, you might be breathing at a fairly steady pace, maybe 12 to 16 breaths per minute. That's typical when you're awake and relaxed. But when you fall asleep, your breathing slows down. It becomes deeper, more rhythmic. During deep sleep, you might only take 8 or 10 breaths per minute. Each breath is fuller, more efficient. Your body doesn't need as much oxygen when you're asleep. Your muscles aren't moving. Your brain activity has shifted. Your metabolism has slowed. So your lungs adjust. They don't work as hard. They just breathe. There's something very calming about noticing your own breath. Even now, you can feel it, the rise and fall of your chest, the air moving in and out. It's always been there. You've been breathing your entire life, mostly without thinking about it. And tonight, when you fall asleep, your breathing will continue. It will slow down, it will deepen, and you won't have to do anything to make that happen. Your body already knows how. Now, breathing during sleep isn't always perfectly smooth. Sometimes people worry about this. They wake up in the middle of the night and notice their breathing feels a bit uneven, or they've been told they snore, or breathe heavily, and that can feel concerning. But it's worth knowing that some variation in breathing during sleep is very common. Your breathing is controlled by the same part of your brain that regulates a lot of automatic functions. And during different stages of sleep, that control shifts slightly. During REM sleep, for example, your breathing can become more irregular. It might speed up or slow down, even pause for a second or two. This happens because your brain is busy with other things. It's dreaming, it's processing emotions and memories. And so the rhythm of your breath reflects that activity. For most people, this irregularity is harmless. It's just part of how sleep works. Your body is incredibly good at regulating itself. Even when your conscious mind isn't paying attention, even when you're deeply asleep, your body is monitoring oxygen levels, adjusting your breathing, making sure everything stays balanced. You don't have to manage any of it. It's already being taken care of. Something else shifts when you sleep. Your body temperature. This is one of the more subtle changes, but it's happening every single night. During the day, your core body temperature stays fairly stable, around 37 degrees Celsius. That's roughly 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. But as evening approaches, your temperature starts to drop. Not by much, maybe half a degree, sometimes a full degree. This drop is one of the signals your body uses to know it's time to sleep. You might have noticed this before. Late at night, you start to feel a little cooler. You might reach for a blanket or notice your hands and feet feel cold. That's your body redistributing heat. It's moving warmth away from your core, out toward your skin, so that heat can escape. This cooling process is actually part of how your body prepares for sleep. A slight drop in core temperature helps trigger drowsiness. And once you're asleep, your temperature continues to drop, reaching its lowest point in the early hours of the morning, usually somewhere between 2 and 4 a.m. Then, as morning approaches, your temperature starts to rise again. This gradual warming is one of the things that helps you wake up. Your body is preparing you to be alert again, to move, to think, to start the day. But all of this happens so slowly, so gently, that you never really feel it. You're asleep. Now, temperature regulation during sleep can sometimes feel uncomfortable. Some people wake up feeling too hot, others wake up feeling cold, and that can disrupt sleep. But it's worth knowing that your body is always trying to find the right balance. If you get too warm, your body will try to cool you down. You might start sweating. Your blood vessels near the skin will widen to release heat. If you get too cold, your body will try to warm you up. You might shiver. Your blood vessels will narrow to keep warmth inside. These are automatic responses. You don't have to think about them. Your body has been regulating its temperature since you were born. And it will keep doing that every night as long as you're alive. There's something quietly reassuring about that. When you fall asleep, your muscles relax. This probably feels obvious. You lie down, you get comfortable, and you let go of tension. But what's happening in your muscles during sleep is more than just relaxation. It's a kind of shutdown. During the day, even when you're sitting still, your muscles are slightly active. They're holding your posture. They're keeping you upright. They're ready to move if you need them. But when you sleep, especially during deep sleep, that background tension fades away. Your muscles go limp. This is why you might shift positions during the night without realizing it. Your body is looking for comfort, adjusting itself, but you're not consciously controlling any of it. Now, during REM sleep, something even more interesting happens. Your muscles become temporarily paralyzed. Not in a frightening way, just in a protective way. During REM sleep, your brain is very active. You're dreaming. And sometimes, in those dreams, you might be running or jumping or moving around. But your body doesn't actually move. Because during REM sleep, a signal from your brainstem prevents your muscles from acting out those dreams. This is called REM atonia. And it's completely normal. It keeps you safe. It stops you from physically responding to whatever's happening in your mind. Most of the time, you never even notice this is happening. You wake up in the morning, and you have no memory of being unable to move. But occasionally, people do become aware of it. This can happen if you wake up during or just after REM sleep. You might feel like you can't move for a few seconds. Your mind is awake, but your body hasn't caught up yet. This is called sleep paralysis. And while it can feel unsettling, it's not dangerous. It's just a brief mismatch in timing. Your brain wakes up a moment before your muscles do. Within seconds, maybe a minute at most, the paralysis fades and you can move again. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's temporary. And it's your body doing exactly what it's supposed to do, just with slightly imperfect timing. Most nights, though, your muscles simply relax. They rest, they recover, and in the morning, they're ready again. While you sleep, your body is also busy with something you can't see or feel. Hormones. These are chemical messengers that travel through your bloodstream, telling different parts of your body what to do. And sleep is when many of these hormones do their most important work. One of the most well-known is growth hormone. You might have heard of this before. It's often associated with children because it helps them grow taller. But adults produce growth hormone too. And it's not just about growth. Growth hormone helps repair tissues. It supports muscle recovery. It plays a role in how your body uses energy. And most of it is released during deep sleep. Specifically, during the slow wave sleep that happens earlier in the night. This is when your body is doing its deepest physical rest, and growth hormone is part of that restoration process. It's quietly repairing small bits of damage, rebuilding cells, keeping everything in working order. You never feel this happening, but it's there. Another hormone that shifts during sleep is cortisol. Cortisol is sometimes called the stress hormone. And during the day, it helps you stay alert, focused, ready to respond to things. But at night, cortisol levels drop. They fall to their lowest point in the hours before midnight. And then, in the early morning, they start to rise again. This rise is gradual. It peaks around the time you wake up. And that surge of cortisol is one of the things that helps you feel alert when morning comes. It's part of your body's natural rhythm. Cortisol drops at night to let you rest. It rises in the morning to help you wake. There's also melatonin. You've probably heard of melatonin. It's often talked about in relation to sleep. Melatonin is produced by a small gland in your brain called the pineal gland, and its job is to signal to your body that it's time to sleep. As evening approaches and light fades, melatonin levels start to rise. This rise makes you feel drowsy. It lowers your alertness. It helps you transition from wakefulness to sleep. Melatonin stays elevated throughout the night. And then, as morning light begins to appear, melatonin levels drop. This drop helps you wake up. It's all connected to light. Your body responds to darkness by producing melatonin. It responds to light by stopping that production. This is why dim lighting in the evening can help you feel sleepy, and why bright light first thing in the morning can help you feel awake. Your hormones are constantly adjusting, responding to signals from your environment and your internal clock. And most of this happens without any conscious effort from you. Your digestive system also changes when you sleep. During the day, your stomach and intestines are busy. They're breaking down food, absorbing nutrients, moving everything along. But at night, this process slows down. Not completely. Your digestive system doesn't stop, but it does ease off. The muscles in your stomach and intestines, which contract to move food through your system, become less active. Digestion takes longer. This is one reason why eating a large meal right before bed can sometimes feel uncomfortable. Your body is trying to digest, but it's also trying to rest. And those two things don't always align perfectly. Some people notice this more than others. They might feel bloated or experience indigestion, or find it harder to fall asleep after eating late. But this isn't a failure of your body. It's just your digestive system responding to the fact that nighttime is meant for rest, not for processing heavy meals. That said, digestion doesn't disappear entirely. If you ate dinner a few hours before bed, your body will continue breaking down that food while you sleep. It just does so more slowly. And by morning, most of that food will have moved through your stomach and into your intestines. Your body has been working on it quietly in the background. There's also something happening with insulin during sleep. Insulin is a hormone that helps regulate your blood sugar. During the day, when you eat, your blood sugar rises and insulin is released to bring it back down. At night, when you're not eating, your blood sugar naturally stays lower, and insulin production adjusts accordingly. Your body is still managing your blood sugar, but it's doing so in a quieter way. All of this is happening automatically. You don't have to tell your stomach to slow down. You don't have to tell your pancreas to adjust insulin. Your body already knows what to do. Your kidneys are also working while you sleep. But like many other systems, they shift into a quieter mode. During the day, your kidneys filter your blood, removing waste and excess fluid, producing urine. At night, they continue to do this, but they slow down. Your body produces a hormone called vasopressin, sometimes called antidiuretic hormone. This hormone tells your kidneys to hold on to more water. So at night, you produce less urine than you do during the day. This is helpful. It means you don't have to wake up as often to use the bathroom. Your body is trying to let you sleep for longer stretches without interruption. Of course, this doesn't always work perfectly. Some people do wake up during the night, needing to urinate. This can happen for a lot of reasons. Maybe you drank a lot of fluid in the evening. Maybe your bladder is just more sensitive. Maybe it's related to age or certain health conditions. But for most people, most of the time, the kidneys manage fluid balance in a way that supports uninterrupted sleep. It's another example of your body quietly adjusting, making small changes to help you rest. Your immune system becomes more active during sleep. This might sound surprising. You might think of sleep as a time when everything slows down. But your immune system, the system that protects you from illness, actually does some of its most important work at night. While you sleep, your body produces more of certain immune cells. It releases proteins called cytokines, which help fight infection and inflammation. And it strengthens its defenses. This is one reason why sleep is so important when you're sick. If you have a cold, or the flu, or any kind of infection, your body needs sleep to fight it off effectively. Sleep gives your immune system the time and resources it needs to do that work. And even when you're not sick, even when you're perfectly healthy, your immune system is still active at night. It's repairing small amounts of damage. It's clearing out old or damaged cells. It's preparing to protect you tomorrow. This is happening right now, as you listen. And it will keep happening tonight while you sleep. You don't have to do anything. Your immune system knows what to do. Let's turn our attention to your brain. Because while your body is resting, your brain is far from quiet. In fact, some parts of your brain are just as active during sleep as they are when you're awake. But they're doing different things. During the day, your brain is focused outward. It's processing information from your senses. It's making decisions. It's responding to the world around you. At night, your brain shifts its focus inward. It starts sorting through everything that happened during the day. It consolidates memories. It processes emotions. It clears out unnecessary information. This work happens across different stages of sleep. During deep sleep, your brain is busy with memory consolidation. It's taking short-term memories, things you learned or experienced today, and moving them into long-term storage. This is why sleep is so important for learning. If you study something during the day and then sleep well that night, you're more likely to remember it. Your brain has had time to file that information away properly. During REM sleep, your brain is doing something else. It's processing emotions. It's working through experiences that felt significant or confusing. It's making connections between ideas. This is also when most of your vivid dreaming happens. And while dreams can feel strange or random, they're actually part of your brain's processing system. They're your mind working through thoughts and feelings in its own way. You don't need to understand your dreams for them to be useful. Just by dreaming, your brain is doing important work. Let's stay with memory for a moment. Because what your brain does with memories during sleep is really quite remarkable. During the day, you're constantly taking in new information. Some of it is important, some of it isn't. Your brain has to decide what to keep and what to let go, and it makes a lot of those decisions at night. During deep sleep, your brain replays certain memories. It activates the same neural pathways that were used when you first formed those memories. This replay strengthens the connections. It makes the memory more stable. Over time, with repeated sleep, those memories become part of your long-term knowledge. But not everything gets saved. Your brain also filters out information that doesn't seem useful. Trivial details, random thoughts, things that don't connect to anything meaningful. This filtering is protective. If your brain tried to remember everything, it would be overwhelmed. So sleep helps you hold on to what matters and let go of what doesn't. This process isn't perfect. Sometimes you forget things you wanted to remember. Sometimes you remember things you'd rather forget. But overall, your brain is doing its best to organize your experiences in a way that makes sense. And it's doing this work every single night while you sleep. Sleep also helps you process emotions. If you've ever noticed that something feels less overwhelming after a good night's sleep, there's a reason for that. During REM sleep, your brain works through emotional experiences. It takes the intensity down. It helps you make sense of what happened. This doesn't mean sleep erases difficult feelings, but it can soften them. It can give you a bit more distance, a bit more perspective. There's research suggesting that REM sleep helps reduce the emotional charge of memories. You still remember what happened, but it doesn't feel quite as raw. This is one reason why people sometimes feel better in the morning, even if nothing about their situation has changed. Their brain has had time to process, to adjust, to settle, and all of that happens during sleep. There's another process happening in your brain while you sleep, something called waste clearance. Throughout the day, your brain cells are active. They're using energy. They're communicating with each other. And as they do this, they produce waste products. These are metabolic byproducts, small molecules that build up in the spaces between brain cells. During sleep, your brain has a way of clearing these out. There's a system called the glymphatic system, It works a bit like a drainage system. Fluid flows through your brain, washing away waste, carrying it out so it can be removed from your body. This system is most active during sleep, specifically during deep sleep. During the day, this clearance process slows down. Your brain is busy with other things. But at night, it gets a chance to clean itself. This is important for long-term brain health. If waste products build up over time, they can contribute to problems. But regular sleep helps prevent that buildup. It keeps your brain functioning well. You can't see this happening. You can't feel it. But it's there, every night. Your brain quietly taking care of itself. Let's talk about your eyes. Even though they're closed, your eyes move during sleep. This happens during REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement. And it's called that because during this stage, your eyes dart back and forth beneath your eyelids. No one fully understands why this happens. Some researchers think it's connected to the visual content of dreams. If you're dreaming about looking around a room, your eyes might move as if you're actually looking. But that's still a theory. What we do know is that REM sleep is when most vivid dreaming occurs. And during REM sleep, your brain is highly active. It's processing, sorting, making connections. Your dreams are part of that process. Sometimes dreams feel meaningful. Sometimes they feel completely random. Both are normal. Your brain is just working through information in its own way. And you don't need to remember your dreams for them to be useful. The processing is happening whether you remember it or not. Sleep doesn't happen in one smooth block. It moves in cycles. Each cycle lasts about 90 minutes. And over the course of a full night's sleep, you move through 4 or 5 of these cycles. Each cycle includes different stages: light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep. At the beginning of the night, you spend more time in deep sleep. This is when your body is doing the most physical restoration. As the night goes on, you spend less time in deep sleep and more time in REM sleep. This is when your brain is doing the most mental and emotional processing. Between cycles, you might briefly wake up. Most of the time, you don't even remember this. You wake just enough to shift position, and then you fall back asleep. This is completely normal. It's part of how sleep works. Your body is constantly adjusting, moving between stages, finding the rhythm it needs. Eventually, morning comes, and your body begins the process of waking up. This doesn't happen all at once. Waking is gradual. Your body temperature starts to rise. Cortisol levels increase. Melatonin production stops. Your heart rate picks up. Your breathing becomes less deep, and slowly you transition from sleep to wakefulness. Sometimes this feels smooth. You wake up feeling rested and alert. Sometimes it feels difficult. You wake up feeling groggy, like you could easily fall back asleep. Both are normal. How you feel when you wake up depends on a lot of things. Which stage of sleep you were in when you woke, how much sleep you got, how well you slept. But your body is always trying to help you transition. It's already preparing you before you even open your eyes. Sleep doesn't always feel the same. Some nights you sleep deeply and wake up refreshed. Other nights you sleep lightly and wake up tired. This variation is normal. A lot of things can affect how you sleep. Stress, what you ate, how much you exercised, the temperature of your room, noise, light, even your emotional state. If you're anxious or excited, you might spend less time in deep sleep. If you're exhausted, you might fall asleep quickly, but wake up frequently. Your body is always responding to what's happening, both inside and outside. And it's doing its best to give you the rest you need. Sometimes that's easier than other times. But even on nights when sleep feels difficult, your body is still resting. It's still recovering. It's still doing important work. We've spent some time tonight thinking about what happens to your body while you sleep. Your heart slowing, your breathing deepening, your temperature dropping, your muscles relaxing, hormones shifting, your immune system working, your brain processing and organizing. All of it happening quietly, automatically, without you needing to think about it. Your body knows what to do. It's been doing this your entire life. And tonight, when you fall asleep, it will do it again. You don't need to manage any of it. You don't need to fix anything. You can just rest. Let your body do what it already knows how to do. And in the morning, you'll wake, ready to begin again. Thank you for listening. And sleep well.